snakes. They're on the move, and that's not all. Fox 11's Haley Winslow reports.
Heat is on and it is stifling. OC, like the rest of the region, seeing summer temps in the last week of winter. Constant heat leading to more emergencies.
That first day, it's kind of a shock. Wow, it's hot out. And then as you get 2, 3, 4 days into it, kind of become a little bit accustomed to it. And we see people going out midday in the heat, not hydrated, and they get themselves in trouble. As
the heat sneaks up, so do the snakes. Orange County Fire Authority warns of more rattlesnakes out and about after a rattler recently killed a young man.
Oftentimes, we see those bites occur right near the edge of a trail. So if you're out walking, hiking, stay in the middle of the trail. Keep those AirPods out so you're not distracted and you can hear as well.
Parks and playgrounds can also be a problem for people and pets, especially on artificial turf, which can be 20 to 50 degrees hotter because the plastic fibers trap heat and have a hard time cooling, unlike natural grass.
A little concerning, but at the same time, I think it's nice.
Lots of liquids and snacks and shade.
More danger right under their paws. The pavement can quickly burn your pup's paws in seconds, and heat stroke in dogs happens fast. If heavy panting, pale gums, drooling, vomiting, or lethargic, experts say cool gently, wet belly, neck, and armpits, but no ice baths. And rub alcohol on paws to help heat evaporate faster. Irvine expected to be in the low 90s the next couple of days. Girls out here fighting the heat, playing soccer. But the good news is an ambulance just pulled up. If they have any heat-related calls, they will be ready to respond. Reporting in Irvine, I'm Haley Winslow, Fox 11 News.
Well, if you want to track the heat, just download our Fox local app. It's free. You'll find interactive radars, a full 7-day forecast, and much more. You can also go to foxla.com. Only on Fox 11 tonight, a damaged cargo ship docked in the port of Long Beach with crushed and dangling containers after a rough trip across the Pacific.
Coast Guard now on watch as crews work to safely clear the load and prevent more from falling into the water. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf live there tonight with the update. Matthew.
Yeah, we're looking at this vessel tonight. Dozens of those containers are literally just teetering on the edge, and then the bottom layer is absolutely crushed. Mike will give you a live look as the Coast Guard is also, as you said, patrolling the water out here, but you can see those shipping containers stacked and crushed up there. Here's a look earlier and how it looks tonight. At least 50 shipping containers leaning and almost like they're hanging on by a thread, while the bottom containers are crushed. This is the OOCL Sunflower out of Taiwan. While en route to Southern California, the vessel got caught in a storm near the Aleutian Islands up by Alaska. We're talking about powerful 20-foot waves knocking at least 32 containers overboard and damaging more than 50. Now, this is similar to another case about 6 months ago where more than 70 shipping containers fell from a ship called the Mississippi, but that happened while the ship was in port here in Long Beach. Tonight, crews are getting ready to take those damaged containers off, making sure they don't fall into the water.
Big issues right now is to deal with potential hazardous material on board the ship. Because the containers have collapsed and collapsed onto each other, you could have a spill on board the vessel. The ship could be leaking. So right now, obviously, the big thing is going to be cleanup. Getting hazardous material teams in there, assessing, make sure. And then it's a little bit of a laborious chore to get all those containers off because you want to make sure you don't have a further spill or a danger for the longshoremen and the salvage crew that's going to go on board.
Back out here live, Mike showing you the U.S. Coast Guard on patrol, just making sure that there are no issues. There's a 100-yard line out, basically making sure that if there are any containers that fall into the water overnight, that none of that contamination gets into the water and spreads. At this point, though, it's unclear exactly what's inside those containers that are teetering on the edge. We're live tonight in the Port of Long Beach. Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Matthew, we all have the memory of the time a bunch of containers did fall into the water. Did you cover that one?
Yeah, that was about 6 months ago, and that was intense because that actually happened in the port here. And right now, it's a very similar situation. Obviously, this happened out at sea, but it's reminding me of what we were seeing that night before we saw more containers fall.
All right, we'll keep a watch on that one and check back with you a little later tonight. Thank you so much, Matthew.
Thousands turned out in downtown LA to fight for LA schools, teachers, parents, students, members of the community banding together tonight.
They are demanding higher wages and an end to LAUSD layoffs. Otherwise, we're talking about a possible strike. Fox 11's Ed Lascos, he's live in Grand Park with that story tonight. A huge crowd today, Ed.
Huge crowd, Marla, and a deadline set. Tuesday, April 14th could be strike day in LA for the city's massive school system. The school district could be shut down, that powerful teachers union says, as UTLA is out with that deadline, saying if both sides cannot reach an agreement before the 14th of next month, they'll shut down the schools. Let's get to it. To the video we go, talking about that huge rally. There it is, hundreds and hundreds showing up at Grand Park, right outside City Hall, most dressed in bright red shirts. Their T-shirts, union T-shirts, most holding their signs, some saying we can't wait, but the most telling sign, strike ready. Some 30,000 UTLA members we're talking about here, certainly teachers, librarians, counselors. They are ready to walk out. I was talking to many of them and they said we have just had enough. They've been working without a contract since June of last year. They want salary increases, and they are really upset with the district, saying that it is having a tough time financially and is talking about proposed layoffs, proposed cutbacks. The union says no to that. And while both sides are still talking, the union says something better happen fast. Listen to this strike deadline announcement.
LAUSD, meet our deadline or face the strike line. LAUSD, you have an opportunity to reach a contract settlement by April 14th of 2026, or we're ready to strike.
We have to be that emotional because there's so much at stake for every one of our students and their families. It's not a time for us to let down. It's a time for us to keep going and keep fighting for the services they truly deserve.
It is really shocking because the district has $10 billion that they've been giving to outside contract. They haven't been meeting the rate of who they should be staffing in schools. And why can't they have the talented people in the district in the schools helping the students? So it is shocking that there's layoffs when we have the highest reserves in the state.
The other side of the story coming from LAUSD is countering out with a statement saying that it is, quote, actively engaged in negotiations with our labor partners and remains committed to reaching agreements that balance the needs of students, families, and staff while ensuring long-term fiscal stability. Goes on to say, the statement, that our offers are among the highest in California, as we come back out live. So again, as the union stresses, they're ready to walk the 14th of next month, but also stressing as negotiations continue, if both sides can reach an agreement, ladies, they say they will call off their strike. But right now that strike deadline is looming, getting here very quickly as those talks continue.
And Ed, when we're talking about support staff, I mean, these are integral roles, right? I mean, bus drivers, for instance.
Yeah, very good point, Marla, because you're talking actually about 3 unions involved here, all powerful unions, certainly UTLA, the SEI, the Service Employees Union, and a third union involved here, all in contract talks. Their contracts all expired at the same time, so the timing all coming at this, everybody negotiating. And that was a big part of this big rally today, where all the 3 unions stood together, their union leaders, their union members, saying they're standing in solidarity all together, and if it doesn't work out, as the battle cry was, we'll shut it down, meaning they'll shut the schools down come the 14th of next month.
Standing by for the update there. All right, Ed Lascos, thank you. Allegations, serious ones, against César Chávez are growing tonight. First, accusations he sexually abused women and minors decades ago. Now shockwaves after labor rights activist Dolores Huerta says he raped her.
Fox 11's Susan Hirasuna has the story.
In the early days of the farm laborers movement, Dolores Huerta was filmed or photographed right next to the leader, César Chávez. Her mission to improve the lives of farm workers stayed true, even after his death and while keeping a dark secret. She's only now revealing at the age of 95. As a young mother in the 1960s, I experienced 2 separate sexual encounters with César. The first time I was manipulated and pressured into having sex with him, and I didn't feel I could say no because he was someone that I admired. Her revelations are shocking to those who admired the cultural icon.
Imagine one of the few leaders that your community has, someone that has been looked up to for decades, being revealed essentially as a predator. And what are we supposed to do with that? And that's the reckoning that we're seeing right now play out in real time.
The New York Times published a story that featured Huerta and other women who described Chávez as a rapist, a child molester, and abuser.
Governor Gavin Newsom.
Governor Gavin Newsom was asked about Chavez at a school with young students around him.
For young kids, this is hard. And so I hope we have some grace in that respect. Is they wonder if there is a name change, their identity to their school, to this icon that they thought one thing of, and how we process that shift.
Antonio Perez used to attend César Chávez Elementary before the name was changed to honor Chavez. He came to take photos of the signage before it's changed.
I don't think it takes anything away from the work that was done by the Farm Workers Union, but it's tough to hear it just came out now, so it's really hard to take in.
A sentiment echoed by the César Chávez family, who released a statement that reads in part, "We carry our own memories of the person we knew, someone whose life included work and contributions that matter deeply to many people." Many politicians, labor, and Latino community groups have reacted to this new information about César Chávez. All wanted to hear the victims and applaud their bravery. Meantime, we reached out to the Montebello Unified School District to find out whether they're considering a name change for this school. So far, we have not heard back. Reporting in Bell Gardens, I'm Susan Hirasuna, Fox 11 News.
Still at 8, a horrific case of alleged abuse at a retirement community. The family of a woman with dementia says a volunteer raped their loved one. The disturbing story only on Fox LA next.
I'm Christina Gonzalez, celebrating Women's History Month at FEM 2026. Some amazing women here.
A near miss between a plane and a helicopter at Burbank Airport earlier this month is a key reason the Federal Aviation Administration is implementing new safety measures. The FAA is eliminating the use of pilots giving the okay visually. Instead, air traffic controllers will use radar to keep aircraft safely apart. This may cause delays or rerouting for helicopters. On March 2nd, a twin-engine plane was cleared to land at Burbank while a helicopter crossed into its final approach path. The helicopter made a sharp right turn to avoid a midair collision. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department gives an up-close and personal look at their new pursuit busting device.
Take a look. It's called the Grappler. When deployed, its arms extend and lower to catch one of the suspect's tires in its net. The yellow tether then brings the car to a stop. The Special Enforcement Bureau says it's a safer option to end pursuits without injuring other drivers or officers.
Tell you the grappler system is safer than the pit maneuver because we control the vehicle. We get the car to stop. When we get the car to stop, the car is facing forward. When we do a pit maneuver, there's damage that is incurred by that. The car spins around, and most times that car is facing us now.
The Riverside County Sheriff's Department is the first agency in all of California to utilize the grappler. Currently, 10 patrol cars are equipped with it in Riverside County, with 6 more to be added by July. Only on Fox 11, women brave the heat in Pasadena today for an empowering event featuring some of the most influential voices in the world.
It's a yearly pilgrimage to celebrate Women's History Month. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez shows us.
We're in this really unique moment in time.
Moira Forbes, one of the leading women in publishing, among the speakers at the 2026 Femme Confab Retreat.
Putting women and their voices at the center of the conversation.
Women braving the heat at the Langham Huntington in Pasadena to hear from the person behind the Forbes yearly Most Powerful Women list.
And I think what's the most inspiring when you look at that list is the initial lists, the women were always the firsts. They were outliers. They weren't necessarily even CEO yet. Fast forward to today, and it's women who are heads of states, CEOs, entrepreneurs, and philanthropists.
Entertainers, tech people, and women who use their power to give back, like Fox's Next Level Chef winner.
Winning Next Level Chef really catapulted my career. It gave me a platform to be able to talk about the things that I'm most important about, which is my cultural heritage, being Native American and Mexican.
This is a recipe that was actually being created by the original indigenous people of this country.
On our podcast, sharing a fry bread recipe or talking to women here.
I tell them how important it is to stay in alignment with what it is that you want to do.
Now, aside from sitting around in the conference setting, the women here actually get to try their hand at things like Tai Chi out in the garden.
Keep bouncing.
Other than keep bouncing, the advice we kept hearing from the speakers.
When there's opportunities that are important to you, when there's new projects, do not ask permission. Far too often, we want other people to tell us in that moment in time that it's our moment. But we have to remind ourselves it's our moment to take.
In Pasadena, I'm Christina Gonzalez, Fox 11 News.
Well, the retreat will continue tomorrow. If you want more information or you would like to attend, we do have that information on our website, foxla.com.
Coming up, we're in studio with award-winning journalist, TV host, and author Sean Robinson talking about her foundation changing the lives of girls and young women. That interview next.
My home sold.
Live look from atop Mount Wilson on this Wednesday night. We're making our way to the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger, you are tracking some more heat for us.
Yeah, not a whole lot of change over these next couple of days. We've been talking about it for a while. It's just kind of more of the same. Now's not a bad time to enjoy the outdoors, though, as it's cooling off here with the sun down this evening. But let's look at what we saw with the high temperatures today. And as, kind of miserable for March as this looks, many of these areas actually went down 1, 2, or 3 degrees compared to what we saw yesterday. But still, the inland areas, you see a lot of numbers here between about 95 and 100 degrees. Along the coast, it was more so 80s today. The numbers tomorrow will look similar to this, although we might actually bump it back up 1 or 2 degrees in many spots tomorrow. So essentially, it's the same kind of headlines we've been talking about all week here, where we have dangerous heat through Friday. That means there's going to be inland 90s to around 100. We're still warm this weekend, but it starts cooling off a little bit. However, inland 80s will still be the case, which for March is still a big deal. It's just not going to be as hot as what we're seeing right now. We've got this record strong for March area of high pressure overhead. Doesn't get much stronger than this time of year. And that's why the temperatures are up around all-time highs for the month of March. So this is overhead now. It's not going to move a whole lot between now and Friday. It kind of hovers right here. So that's why this most intense part of this heat wave will be essentially just through Friday. Now, as we head into the weekend, this high backs off a little bit, allowing temperatures to come down a little bit. And then next week, while the high won't be as strong when it returns, it does return, which is going to ensure that very warm temperatures by March standards will continue with us well beyond the early part of next week. We're thinking maybe into the very first part of April at least. All right, now high temperatures for tomorrow. It's going to, again, overall maybe be a little bit hotter than what we saw today. Not much different, but just, hot. And hot is hot, essentially, whether it's, 97, 95, whatever. We're all talking about some hot temperatures here. Out towards Palm Springs, that's significant, that 107 there, because the hottest temperature that's ever been measured in March nationwide is 108 degrees for the more than 100 years worth of records we have. So Palm Springs might be up around that at some point in the next couple of days. Around the high desert, it's more so 90. Santa Clarita could be around 100 degrees. In the valleys, the Inland Empire, somewhere between 98 to 101 is going to be common. Downtown LA, maybe something like 97 tomorrow. Inland Orange County, more like low to mid 90s there. And then along the coast, that's a little bit better, but still very warm with 80s. As I switch it over to Friday, you can see the numbers are essentially the same. And then as we go to Saturday, you'll notice how we start chipping into that heat a little bit. Now, again, this is still a big deal for March. The average for LA is 70 this time of year. So still we're nearly 20 above that on Saturday, but it will be a little bit cooler, maybe still some low 90s there in those far inland areas, especially in the IE. Okay, so like I said, average is 70. We're way above that, 25 plus degrees above that tomorrow and Friday. We're down to the 80s this weekend. We hold in the mid to upper 80s through next week. So that's that long-term heat wave that's still going to keep going. But the most intense part, obviously, is the next couple of days. 80s for the coast until the weekend. Then it's down to the 70s for the valleys in the Inland Empire, right around 100 degrees through Friday. Still very warm, though, Saturday and Sunday. It's just that it gets a little cooler than what we have now. The mountains in the low 80s for the next 2 days, then 70s over the weekend. In the high desert, I think we avoid 100 there, but it's still really hot. And then again, in the low desert is where we're going to see the most extreme heat. Like I said, 108 is the hottest that anywhere in the U.S. has ever measured in March. We could be right around that by Friday. That's pretty incredible. It gives you a little insight as to how far out of whack this heat wave is. By the weekend, we're down a little bit over 100 and holding near 100 next week. Back to you.
Still ahead, a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the local senior facility. A volunteer accused of sexually assaulting a woman with dementia. A shocking story we'll only see on Fox LA.
Plus, spring break is upon us. What you need to know if you plan on getting out of town by car or by plane. Next.
Live across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Tonight, an LA County woman is suing a senior care facility and one of their volunteers for $25 million. She claims her mother was sexually assaulted. It's caught on camera.
Fox 11's Nick Garcia has the story, but first a warning. Some viewers may find this difficult to watch.
A betrayal of trust and delayed justice. Camille Anderson moved her mom, who has dementia, into La Mirada Heights senior living community 4 years ago, believing it would be a safe space. That belief torn to shreds last summer when prosecutors say Jonathan Alvarado raped her mother. Alvarado was a volunteer piano player at La Mirada Heights. The whole nightmare caught on camera.
I just screamed.
Anderson set up Ring cameras throughout her mom's apartment because of her dementia-related symptoms. Here is some of that shocking footage. You see Alvarado in the victim's bedroom, taking his clothes off. An hour later, you see him here, emerging from the bedroom, naked. Alvarado throws a condom in the trash can, then gets dressed. Anderson was at work when this happened, but started receiving several motion-triggered notifications from Ring.
When I had a chance to go back to my office and check my phone, I see on the notification picture that there was a man in the room bending down, tying his shoes.
She called the facility and says 2 workers entered the room to check on her mother.
Are you naked, Mama?
Notice her confusion as they ask questions.
Are you okay? Everything okay? Yeah? Who's the guy who was here? Think about it, Mama, and slow, so you can tell me.
Do you know what happened? She's like, no. Okay, did you want to have sex, Mom? No. No.
Alvarado is facing felony charges, 1 count for rape, 1 for a lewd act on a dependent adult.
Kind of following the advice of the detective.
Anderson says the LA County District Attorney's Office has been slow to prosecute this case. She and her lawyer question why the DA has not announced it publicly, because they believe there could be more victims.
You expect a certain level of security and protection, and that does not appear to have been the case for my client.
We went to La Mirada Heights looking for answers. The manager on site could not speak with us on camera, but we did receive this statement saying in part, quote, "We are disturbed by these allegations and will fully cooperate with any criminal investigation. Because this matter involves an ongoing criminal case and out of respect for the privacy of our resident, it is not appropriate to comment further," end quote.
Justice looks like in this case that the facility will be held responsible and liable for their negligence in this case and their continued negligence from what we understand.
Anderson has filed a $25 million lawsuit against the company and the suspect, claiming negligence, sexual abuse, and elder abuse.
They helped him. They helped him do it, essentially. They opened the door for this to happen.
An open door to a person she feels should have never been trusted in the first place. Now, I received this statement from the LA County District Attorney's Office saying this case was presented to us as an in-custody filing. It was rejected for further investigation and filed for a warrant on July 29th, 2025, approximately 6 weeks after it was initially presented. The defendant was brought before a court in January of this year. We've had 1 preliminary hearing setting. The LA County Sheriff's Department conducted the investigation in this matter and did not bring any additional victims to our attention. In studio, I'm Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
So disturbing. All right, right now to the war with Iran. The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, testified on Capitol Hill earlier today that Iran's regime is weakened, but still active after weeks of war. It's come the day after National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent resigned in protest, saying Iran did not pose an imminent threat to the U.S., accusing some officials of shaping policy that pushed the U.S. into war under false pretenses.
The IC assesses the regime in Iran appears to be intact but largely degraded due to attacks on its leadership and military capabilities. Its conventional military power projection capabilities have largely been destroyed, leaving limited options. Iran's strategic position has been significantly degraded.
Israel and Iran are trading deadly strikes tonight. The latest escalation follows the killing of Iran's intelligence minister. Tehran responded with a wave of missiles targeting Israel and Gulf energy sites. That's after Israeli jets hit Iran's South Pars natural gas field, the world's largest. The fallout is hitting the pump as oil surges past $112 a barrel on global supply fears. Meanwhile, Israeli strikes in Lebanon have killed at least a dozen people in apartment buildings. And here at home, President Trump is honoring 6 U.S. troops killed in that refueling crash in Iraq.
Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen facing tough questions on Capitol Hill earlier today as he looks to become President Trump's new Homeland Security Secretary. As Fox's Rebecca Castor reports, his confirmation hearing comes at a turbulent time for DHS, which is currently at the center of a funding fight.
With the Department of Homeland Security still shut down, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen is trying to convince his colleagues that he can bring stability to the agency facing a mountain of challenges.
My goal in 6 months is that we're not in the lead story every single day.
The hearing got personal quick between Mullen and Chairman Rand Paul.
I just wonder if someone who applauds violence against their political opponents is the right person to lead an agency.
Seems like you fight Republicans more than you work with us.
President Trump nominated Mullen for DHS Secretary after removing Kristi Noem from the post earlier this month following a string of controversies, including the shooting deaths of 2 anti-ICE protesters by federal agents in Minneapolis.
What Secretary Noem did was give the green light to lawless behavior. Are you going to give the green light to lawless behavior?
I will operate within the parameters and the policies and the laws that you guys set for me.
If confirmed, Mullen's immediate concern would be securing the department's budget. Democrats are refusing to fund DHS until the White House and Republicans agree to new guidelines for ICE and Border Patrol agents.
I am looking for real substantive reform.
How can you sit there with a straight face when you're choosing to not pay 260,000 people?
The partial shutdown is leading to TSA security backups at airports across the country, and the pressure would be on Mullen to get the delays under control as quick as possible.
They're still showing up every single day to do their job, and we should all be trying to fund them.
A vote on Mullen's nomination is not yet scheduled, but he is expected to be confirmed as the next Secretary of Homeland Security. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, back here in California, another week, another poll in the race for California governor. This one shows 2 Republicans slightly leading the long list of Democrats, according to the UC Berkeley IGS poll. Republican small business owner Steve Hilton is polling with 17%, while fellow Republican Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco sits at 16%. On the Democratic side, Eric Swalwell and Katie Porter are neck and neck with 13%, while Tom Steyer, billionaire businessman, environmentalist, has jumped to 10%. All other candidates remain in single digits. The top 2 vote getters in the June primary will advance to the general election in November. Tonight, the impact of the January 2025 wildfires still being felt widespread. Activists say scam artists may be using AI to target elderly Eaton fire survivors. A special workshop today in Altadena to address the problems. Organizers say fake FEMA agents and phony insurance adjusters have been preying on vulnerable older adults in San Diego County. They suspect they now have their sights on senior victims of last year's wildfires as they try to rebuild their homes.
And they're alone, no one to talk to, and they get a phone call at 5 o'clock in the evening because they're alone from a scammer. And all of a sudden, oh, you sound nice. And next thing you know, they're scammed in a romance scam, an AI scam, what have you, and they lose their money.
Experts also say scammers are using AI to clone voices in what's being called the grandparent scam. That means they target older adults by imitating the voice of a grandchild during a phone call. Experts warn families to stay alert and verify calls before taking action.
She is a popular entertainment host. She's making moves in the world of philanthropy for women and girls. Sean Robinson is a host of 90 Day Fiancé and was on Access Hollywood for years. But do you know about her nonprofit, the Sean Foundation? Joining me now for Women's History Month is Sean Robinson. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, my friend.
Tell them what the Sean Foundation stands for.
So, as you know, because
Yes.
you have been to many of our fundraising
Yes.
events, the Sean Foundation for Girls, we support the nonprofits that work directly with girls. So a lot of times people say, oh, I want to work with the girls. It's like, we don't work with girls directly. We support the organizations that work with girls. And the reason that's so important, Christine,
Yeah.
as you know, as you've heard me say before, girl-centered nonprofits get less than 5% of the available funding given to all nonprofits.
Sean, I'm going to interrupt you because we got to get a microphone on you.
Oh.
So stand by. We're going to go to.
Shall I just talk louder?
We'll get a mic. We'll be back in a minute with that.
Okay.
You do have a powerful voice, but still, let's get you a microphone. All right, coming up, we will check in with Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger and then check back in with Sean Robinson and Christine Devine. Stay tuned.
She's a popular entertainment host, making moves in the world of philanthropy for women and girls. Sean Robinson, you know her as the host of 90 Day Fiancé and was on Access Hollywood for years. But do you know about a nonprofit, the Sean Foundation? Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Let's talk about, first off, what does the Sean part of the foundation stand for?
So, my friend, as you know, because you have been to so many of our events, and I'm so happy to be here talking to you and to all of the viewers out there. So, Sean, S-H-A-U-N, STEM, Health, Arts, Unity, and Neighborhood. Those are the pillars of the Sean Foundation for Girls. And what we do is we don't work directly with girls. We support the organizations that work directly with girls.
So we're looking at some video of what you do. Let's just talk about the need, because you realize not a lot of money was going to organizations for girls.
That's right. Less than 5% of all philanthropic dollars, less than 5% go to girl-centered nonprofits. So that means fewer budgets for these nonprofits, fewer resources, more employee burnout because there is not the staff that they need. And so what we do is we provide general operating funds grants for these nonprofits. And general operating funds are so important because there's so many organizations out there that just need a little bit of help and that they can affect so many members of the community.
And you being a famous person, lending your name is so important, because we should note, your model's different. You don't work with one concept.
Right.
You get the backing you go find these organizations.
Yes, a lot of times people say, how do you find these organizations? So far, Christine, we have given over $250,000 to close to 40 girl-centered nonprofits all around the country. And the way we find them, people will DM me. Folks know how to find me. They DM me. A lot of times the organizations will reach out, and then we also do our own research to find out where the organizations around the country that are really making an impact in girls' lives.
And this one here, for example.
Oh, yes. Daughters Beyond Incarceration. That's our latest grantee. They are so incredible. Imagine if you are a young girl and your parents are incarcerated and you are spending holidays maybe going to visit them, or maybe you can't go visit them. This organization helps those girls, and they have a mentorship program, and they help maintain that connection that the daughter has with a parent where they have a good relationship.
And we're seeing a plethora of photos of
Yes.
the different kinds of groups. Is there one that really currently stands out to you right now?
That's like asking, what is my favorite child,
Yeah,
Christine?
right.
You know, they are all so remarkable. And here's the thing. There are nonprofits in your community, in all of our community, that we need to really see how we can help them, because even if they're only helping a small number of girls, they're making such a deep impact in their lives. And when we help girls become when we help economically disadvantaged girls, underserved girls, when we help them become fully involved members of society because they had that boost, that helps all of us.
I just want to note that you do a great benefit with your girlfriends
Yes.
here in LA.
Yes.
It's the Gumbo fundraiser.
Yes.
Let's take a look at those still
The
photos.
Gumbo.
You just had it.
We just had it.
And really a lot of your friends step up.
They
to be
do.
part of this.
We have a great group of friends, you included, Christine. This is the Gumbo Jazz and Good Times. There's Vanessa Bell Calloway, famous actress. We had it at her home. She sits on the advisory board.
us.
Yes, that's your thing. You rock your purple. I love it. Every time you come to our event, you rock your purple.
I got the memo. I got the memo.
Purple is the color of our foundation, and we had this event at Vanessa Bell Calloway's house. She is extraordinary. The other event, Christine, as you know, that we do is coming up this fall.
Yeah.
It's called She Leads, Empowering Nonprofit Leaders for Girls. It's a first of its kind.
That's a conference for those who run these
Yes.
nonprofits to come and be empowered.
Exactly. Women who are leaders of girl-centered nonprofits. She Leads. You can email sheleads@SeanFoundationForGirls.org. This is the time when we bring leaders together all over the country. And a lot of times in philanthropy, there is this gatekeeping. People don't want to share resources and knowledge because they think if some goes to you, that's less for me. We want to break down those walls and have collaboration between nonprofits so they can become stronger. We connect them with funders that can give grants to their missions. It is an amazing, amazing conference. So if you know a woman who leads a girl-centered nonprofit anywhere in the country, have her
Come be
email
empowered.
sheleads@SeanFoundationForGirls.org.
You know, I'm thinking of a lot of news stories where you're seeing more and more girls and women being empowered to use their voice.
Yes.
I got to think this helps with that.
Absolutely. You know, it is when you see these women come together, and investing in girls means investing in the organizations and the leaders who lead them, who give every single day of their lives to making the lives of the girls better. And so there's so much burnout in philanthropy. We are trying to empower these women. We're giving them connections. They come out of this conference saying, I am ready to go back and lead these girls that are part of my organization, and the impact is so important.
Sean Robinson, thanks
Thank
for coming
you,
in
my
and lending your
friends.
voice on really an important
Thank you.
cause.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's go now to weather with Adam Kruger.
Well, guess what I'm talking about? More heat. That's going to be with us for a while, but the hottest temperatures, we've seen that for a few days now, and that'll last through Friday. But look at the calendar of the highs so far this month. Yeah, there's been a lot of fluctuation, but every single day has technically been warmer than normal and way warmer than normal lately. So 98 yesterday, 95 today. That's for downtown LA. This is only the second time in March ever that we've had consecutive days of 95 or hotter. We're likely going to add a third one tomorrow, maybe a fourth one Friday, and that's never happened in the month of March. So that's why we've been talking about this heat wave being epic or unprecedented for March. It's not just how hot it's been, but how long this heat is also sticking around. All right, temperatures right now, it's Relative to what it was earlier today, not that bad for most spots. Look at Palm Springs at 93 degrees, though. And look at Big Bear at 50. Quite a big difference out there. Just a 43-degree difference in that particular spot. As we come in a little bit closer, we still see a couple of 80s out there, but 70s beginning to become a little more common. And right over the coast, a couple areas just under 70 degrees right now. All right, tomorrow we start the morning early in the 60s, but of course it will heat up very quickly up to about 90 at noon, and we'll be in the 90s in the afternoon. Similar to today, maybe even 1 or 2 degrees hotter in many spots than what we saw today, as this very strong area of high pressure by March standards is going to hover over us for a few more days. Meanwhile, we have the opposite thing happening out east. It's unusually cold for this time of year. This is all snow coming down on radar right now over parts of Pennsylvania, New York State, up through Toronto, for example, other parts of the Midwest as well. Look at the forecast low temperatures in that part of the country tonight. You can see that freeze line, which dips down through parts of the Midwest and the East Coast and the Northeast. Meanwhile, here we have those lows in the 60s and highs in the 90s for a lot of us again tomorrow. So our pattern goes unchanged for a few days. High pressure sticks with us and it remains very strong. It backs down a little bit this weekend, so temperatures come down a little this weekend, but still very warm for March. And that high actually comes back, and I don't think it's going to be as intense next week as what we're seeing this week, but still it's back. And the long-term trends, when I say long-term, I'm talking like 2 weeks, continue to indicate that we are very likely to be warmer than normal. That's the 6 to 10 day outlook. Red means warmer than normal. Here's the 8 to 14 day outlook. That takes us into early April, and that also suggests very likely warmer than normal temperatures. Normal, by the way, which is kind of like pointless because it's far from normal this whole month. But normal, in case you're wondering, is 70 for LA this time of year. So we're more than 25 above that tomorrow and Friday, and then down to the 80s, which is still way above normal this weekend, and more 80s coming our way next week. For the coast, it'll be 80s for a couple of days, down to 70s for the weekend and next week. The valleys, the Inland Empire, easily seeing highs around 100 or so through Friday, and then down to near 90 Saturday and Sunday, and still just staying pretty hot, just not dangerously hot as we go into next week. Back to you.
All right, we still have more news ahead at 8.
But first, here's a preview of what's coming up at 9. SoCal Edison in the headlines again, this time for boosting executive pay despite its suspected role in the deadly Eaton fire. We have those details. Plus, Virgin River fans, the wait is over. Season 7 is dropped on Netflix. Ahead at 9, I sit down with Benjamin Hollingsworth, who plays Dan Brady, to get the inside scoop on all that drama. Is ramping up, with experts predicting a record number of U.S. travelers this year.
Expected surge coming even with rising fuel prices. Fox's Caroline Shavley helps explain why.
That time of year again, travelers across the country are heading out for spring break.
Industry experts estimate a whopping 171 million passengers will fly between March 1st and April 30th, setting records.
This airport right now looks crazy.
But if you thought driving would be the easy way around the travel issues, think again. The price of gas is still on the rise. Gas Buddy showing the cost to fill up this year is more than 13% higher than it was a year ago.
Gas prices were coming down, now they're going back up again. It's frustrating.
But AAA says there's a reason people are still traveling, and it's not just about vacationing.
We are certainly seeing a new trend emerge.
The trend is called meaningful travel, or travelers seeking deeper, more meaningful journeys. For some, that's meant spending the time away volunteering.
I'm still getting sun. I got some sunburn, but I'm doing good work too. So I killed two birds with one stone.
For others, it's been about learning a new skill.
Cooking, sewing, things that are popular in that destination. They are really about enriching their lives and not just seeing the destinations, but really being part of that destination and bringing that destination home.
For this Utah family, spring break meant pursuing their passion together and learning to off-road as a family, despite the extra pinch at the pumps.
It's a little more to go out, but you take the good with the bad, and if it's a little bad right now, we still play.
After COVID, I think we all learned a valuable lesson, and that is to make the most of the time and to spend that time with those you love. And while gas prices have increased, it is still the most economical way to travel.
And for those who struggle to find the time to get away, there's another emerging travel trend. It's called bleisure traveling, or blending business and leisure travel in a single trip. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News. There's some big name football happening this weekend right here in Los Angeles with the Fanatics Flag Football Classic out at BMO Stadium this Saturday at 1 p.m. You can watch it right here on Fox 11.
NFL great and Fox football analyst Tom Brady is one of the captains and will also be QB for his team. And we got a chance to speak with him about it.
I got a lot of familiarity with the guys that hopefully I'll be picking on my team. Rob Gronkowski's been a great friend. I got a lot of guys that I played against, played with that are going to be in the mix. So it's to me a little bit like riding a bike. You know, I've done it a long time. There's been over 10,000 hours spent throwing footballs. That'll never go away. The fact that we're not getting hit, I think, plays to my strength. And I can stand in there and make really accurate throws and deliver great footballs to, you know, again, some of the best athletes in the world.
And as mentioned, if you can't get out to BMO, you can watch this competition right here on Fox 11. Starts at 1 p.m. on Saturday. Be sure to check out our sports team right after, right here on Fox 11.
It sounds like a lot of fun. If you haven't been to BMO Stadium.
I haven't been to BMO Stadium.
It's a great stadium. It's a lot of fun. And I think if people went, like, you know, with a group, you'd have a good time. It's kind of intimate.
Which is going to draw a lot of people because, I mean, Tom Brady's a draw.
Hello.
Rob Gronkowski out
Hello.
there. The list goes on and on. Saquon Barkley, you name it.
All right, don't go anywhere. We are not done yet.
Nope, we're not. LA Live News Tonight continues at 9 right after the break.
Live across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
It's been hard to absorb this. You know, Jen and I are very close with Dolores. So many of us are, but very close. Have been for decades and decades. And
for change.
And in the weather, you know the drill. We're talking about hot temperatures once again, and I think overall tomorrow will be a little bit hotter than the record heat we had today. Here's a look at the numbers. We'll talk more about it coming up in a few minutes.
And we're in the port of Long Beach tonight, where dozens of shipping containers are teetering off the side of a vessel. An update coming up.
Good evening, everybody. You're watching LA Live News Tonight at 9 o'clock. I'm Marla Tejas. From the moment the New York Times investigation came out, the reaction online and around the world, it was one of shock. Tonight, there are calls to change the way César Chávez is remembered in California and also across the country. Laura Diaz, she's here with late details and a reaction from an expert who was involved in this investigation. Laura.
Well, Marla, for a while this morning, the issue was a hot potato. Politicians were issuing carefully crafted statements, but then came an extraordinary news conference where Jennifer Siebel Newsom, Governor Newsom's wife, became emotional. She paused as she searched for the right words.
I'm still shaking a little bit about Dolores and all these young women. So I want you to say something first, and I'll jump in. It's a lot. It's like we're living in really tough times. And
the shock hasn't subsided, but elected officials are already working to erase the name of César Chávez, if not his legacy. There are dozens of streets, schools, plazas, and monuments dedicated to César Chávez up and down the state. The giant statue of him on the campus of Fresno State was already covered in plastic by the time many heard the news. Fresno, of course, in the San Joaquin Valley, where the United Farm Workers Union had a profound effect on farm labor. Closer to home, LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn is calling to rename César Chávez Day on March 31st. She suggests the day be called Farm Worker Day. In a statement, Supervisor Hahn said, "What matters most now is that we listen and support them as any other woman who suffered this abuse." And in the city of LA, Councilmember Isabel Jurado wants to go even further. She issued the statement, "I am calling for the renaming of all public locations and events that bear his name as we prioritize accountability and stand with those who've been harmed." Also tonight, I spoke with noted Dartmouth professor Matthew Garcia, author of the book about Chávez titled From the Jaws of Victory. Garcia assisted in the New York Times investigation of Chávez. While much of the world was shocked by the investigative piece, Garcia says he wasn't.
And César had extramarital affairs, which I cover, but I never really imagined that it would be so dark. I knew that there were young women or girls, and I knew this because people within the movement asked me to facilitate a relationship with the New York Times, which I had. And so I was the person that helped facilitate the whistleblowers contacted the New York Times.
So there's some of the backstory right there. And just tonight, Mayor Karen Bass announced that the last Monday in March will be renamed Farm Workers Day from César Chávez Day in Los Angeles. But everybody just getting this news this morning on our phones, reading this bombshell report. And it was quite shocking, Marla.
And personal for you, because when you, many years ago, you interacted with him, you met him.
Well, I was a very young reporter in Fresno, which was just my second job in television news. And I can tell you this, he was so revered that when I was introduced to him, it was like I was meeting a rock star. And this was part of the culture where people looked up to him so much. And now that we're hearing these allegations, you could see why maybe people didn't question. That's how revered he was.
Yeah, that authority.
Yes. And so people did not question. And, you know, the allegations we heard today were just very disturbing and rocked so many people.
And we should note, if you haven't taken the time, the New York Times investigation, very thorough. I mean, they spoke to more than 60 people. Of course, there are people who go on the record and say they were around him all the time, women included, that they never experienced any sort of inappropriate behavior. Nonetheless, he passed away. He died in 1993, and he was 66 years old. And you know, the fallout continues all these years later.
Well, according to this author, though, he said the stories had been circulating for a long time. So it wasn't, I guess, a little bit whispered about, but when he finally put the book together and got people to go on the record and then put them in touch with the New York Times, they worked on the piece for 5 years.
It's incredible.
It took that long to get some of the alleged victims to come forward. So, yeah, it's quite haunting, all of it.
It really is. All right, Laura, great job tonight. Thank you. Well, the second biggest story of the day, the heat. For that, we turn to Chief Meteorologist Adam Kruger.
I've got a little bit of bad news, good news, so we'll start with the bad news first. It was record heat once again today. The record for the date, 87. So much for that. We were 7 above that at 95. Yesterday was 98, so it actually was a little bit cooler. That's kind of part of the good news here, is that not only was today a little bit cooler, but right now, compared to this time last night, it's a few degrees cooler in several spots. 5 degrees cooler in Santa Monica and Santa Ana, for example. So again, that's that little bit of good news. However, it's going to continue to be about as hot tomorrow and Friday, and then you'll start to notice a little more of a cooler feel over the weekend. Temperatures right now, obviously it's dark, so we're cooling off pretty nicely in some spots. There's a lot of 70s and even some 60s along the coast, but you go inland, we still see some temperatures in the 80s. In fact, Burbank is still reporting 85. Woodland Hills, though, is 75 degrees. And then again, you see places like El Monte to Glendora, 82 degrees there, San Bernardino around 82. So we definitely have some warm spots. Overnight tonight, it really doesn't get much cooler than 60s, at least for a lot of the greater LA area. Here's a closer view. We'll go about 63 downtown, low 60s along the coast, more like mid 60s a little farther inland. Tomorrow, again, is going to be around as hot as today. It might actually be like 1 or 2 degrees hotter in some spots, at least mid 90s for LA. Inland areas could hit 100 degrees. Similar heat through Friday. The weekend will ease off the gas a little bit. I'll have that on the 7-day a little later. For now, back to you.
All right, Adam, thanks. Thousands turn out in downtown LA to fight for LA schools. Teachers, parents, students, and community members banding together tonight, demanding higher wages and an end to LAUSD layoffs. Otherwise, they're talking about a possible strike. Fox 11's Ed Lascos live there in Grand Park with the story. The heat did not keep people away, Ed.
No, very big crowd here, Marla, and think about it, L.A., with its second largest school district in all the country, could be hit by a teacher strike next month. That threat coming from the UTLA, the teachers union, saying if there is not an agreement by April 14th, then April 14th will be strike day in L.A. Watch.
LAUSD, meet our deadline or face the strike line.
A deadline now looming to strike LAUSD, the threat issued by the district's powerful teachers union, the UTLA, with its nearly 30,000 members.
All of the social workers and all of the educators that I've talked to, they're all like, if we need to strike, we'll strike. Our students deserve it, and we just can't stop at this point.
It's the battle cry at this huge rally. Grand Park covered in a sea of red, all union members with their signs of what could hit LAUSD. We can't wait, it says. And this one, strike ready, all a sharp rejection of the district's threat of planned layoffs.
It is really shocking because the district has $10 billion that they've been giving to outside contract. They haven't been meeting the rate of who they should be staffing in schools. And why can't they have the talented people in the district in the schools helping the students?
It's the latest firestorm to hit the second largest school district in all the country. Its embattled superintendent, Alberto Cavallo, still suspended with pay, under investigation by the feds. And now this labor threat, with the district saying it's, quote, actively engaged in negotiations with our labor partners and remains committed to reaching agreements that balance the needs of students, families, and staff while ensuring long-term fiscal stability. Our offers are among the highest in California. Still, the union line has now been drawn.
Meet the deadline of April 14th or meet the strike line.
Now live, meet the strike line, part of the rallying cry here. But so you know, they're still talking back and forth, both sides, and the union stresses while they have that deadline. If there's an agreement before April 14th, they'll call off the strike. But right now at this hour, Marla, that April 14th deadline still stands.
And it's impacting so many people, to your point, and we're talking bus drivers, teachers, assistants, cafeteria workers, janitorial staff. The list goes on and on, Ed.
Yeah, on and on, Marla, and then you look at it as it really goes down the line. All the parents, all their children, everybody infected. Huge impact here. And the teachers, for their part, say they want salary increases. They want no part of the planned layoffs. The district, for its part, says they're having a financial difficulty and they've got to start cutting where they can. So we'll see how it all plays out.
All right, we will. All right, Ed, thank you so much. The details tonight: a 92-year-old developer is identified as the man found dead in his Hermosa Beach home after a welfare check. It happened Saturday. This is Citizen app video. Police say the suspect, 39-year-old Robert Simmons, barricaded themselves inside the house, leading to a 7-hour standoff before being arrested. Investigators believe Demetrius Dukoulis, the victim, had been dead for days. Simmons, who faces a murder charge, is being held on $2 million bail. Edison International is under fire after boosting executive pay despite its suspected role in the deadly Eaton fire, which killed 19 people and destroyed homes in Altadena last year. According to the LA Times, CEO Pedro Pizarro's compensation rose 20% to $16.6 million, even as the company faces lawsuits and investigations over its aging power lines. Critics argue Edison prioritizes profits over safety, with its 2025 earnings soaring 200% to $4.5 billion, partly due to rate hikes and state wildfire protections. A decades-old scandal involving police officers and underage teens. Up next, the city of Whittier agrees to a multi-million-dollar settlement that involves 4 former police explorers. And a shocking lawsuit against a senior care facility. Why one woman says her mother wasn't safe, and the disturbing evidence, she says, proves it. Plus, a cargo ship battered by the Pacific now sits at the port of Long Beach. Its containers crushed and dangling. We're live with that story ahead at 9:30. Well, tonight, an LA County woman is suing a senior care facility and one of its volunteers for $25 billion. She claims Her mother was sexually assaulted, and it was caught on camera. Fox 11's Nick Garcia has this story, but first a warning, some viewers may find this difficult to watch.
A betrayal of trust and delayed justice. Camille Anderson moved her mom, who has dementia, into La Mirada Heights senior living community 4 years ago, believing it would be a safe space. That belief torn to shreds last summer when prosecutors say Jonathan Alvarado raped her mother. Alvarado was a volunteer piano player at La Mirada Heights. The whole nightmare caught on camera.
I just screamed.
Anderson set up Ring cameras throughout her mom's apartment because of her dementia-related symptoms. Here is some of that shocking footage. You see Alvarado in the victim's bedroom, taking his clothes off. An hour later, you see him here, emerging from the bedroom, naked. Alvarado throws a condom in the trash can, then gets dressed. Anderson was at work when this happened, but started receiving several motion-triggered notifications from Ring.
When I had a chance to go back to my office and check my phone, I see on the notification picture that there was a man in the room bending down, tying his shoes.
She called the facility and says 2 workers entered the room to check on her mother.
Are you naked, Mama?
Notice her confusion as they ask questions.
Are you okay? Everything okay? Yeah? Who's the guy who was here? Think about it, Mama, and slow, so you can tell me.
Do you know what happened? She's like, no. Okay, did you want to have sex, Mom? No.
Alvarado is facing felony charges, 1 count for rape, 1 for a lewd act on a dependent adult.
Kind of following the advice of the detective.
Anderson says the LA County District Attorney's Office has been slow to prosecute this case. She and her lawyer question why the DA has not announced it publicly, because they believe there could be more victims.
You expect a certain level of security and protection, and that does not appear to have been the case for my client.
We went to La Mirada Heights looking for answers. The manager on site could not speak with us on camera, but we did receive this statement saying in part, quote, "We are disturbed by these allegations and will fully cooperate with any criminal investigation. Because this matter involves an ongoing criminal case and out of respect for the privacy of our resident, it is not appropriate to comment further," end quote.
Justice looks like in this case that the facility will be held responsible and liable for their negligence in this case and their continued negligence from what we understand.
Anderson has filed a $25 million lawsuit against the company and the suspect, claiming negligence, sexual abuse, and elder abuse.
They helped him. They helped him do it, essentially. They opened the door for this to happen.
An open door to a person she feels should have never been trusted in the first place. Now, I received this statement from the LA County District Attorney's Office saying this case was presented to us as an in-custody filing. It was rejected for further investigation and filed for a warrant on July 29th, 2025, approximately 6 weeks after it was initially presented. The defendant was brought before a court in January of this year. We've had 1 preliminary hearing setting. The LA County Sheriff's Department conducted the investigation in this matter and did not bring any additional victims to our attention. In studio, I'm Nick Garcia, Fox 11 News.
Coming up, tensions are rising as FIFA denies Iran's request to move World Cup games out of the U.S., citing safety concerns amid ongoing conflict.
And it's more crazy heat for March tomorrow with temperatures inland in the 90s, but one part of the desert may set a record for the hottest March temperature ever anywhere in the nation. I'll have that in my forecast coming up.
weather is sponsored by American Career College.
And a live look from atop Mount Wilson. Meteorologist Adam Kruger tracking the heat. It definitely feels like summer, and we've not even made it to spring.
Yeah.
We're almost there, though.
It's a good way to say it. Yeah, we're almost there. But yeah, this would be a significant heat wave if it were happening this summer. It's an unprecedented heat wave happening for March in the fact that it's very, very hot, but also the length of time that it's lasting makes it unprecedented as well. Right now is not a bad time to be outside, though. Maybe get in your exercise currently. But earlier today, you can see why it was such dangerous heat. And again, for this time of year, this is just like unheard of. So we had temperatures today that topped out mostly between 95 and 100 for inland areas. And then, of course, along the coast, it was a little bit cooler. Not pictured here just off the edge of the screen would be Palm Springs, where it officially got to 105 today, beating the daily record for Palm Springs, which was 95. So the record there was broken for the day by 10 degrees. Palm Springs is going to get hotter. That's going to be one of the spots I'll talk a little bit more about later on that could set a U.S. record at some point this week. So we have this area of high pressure overhead. We know, if you follow the weather much here, that high pressure brings usually clear skies, sunshine, and warmer temperatures. This high just happens to be at like record strength for March, though. That's why this heat wave is so extreme. And the high's not moving much from now through Friday, kind of holding overhead. So temperatures for the highs every single day between now and Friday, not a whole lot of change. Mid and upper 90s to even around 100, pretty common for inland areas. The high will back down a little bit this weekend, which allows our temperatures to start cooling, but it's still going to be very warm by March standards. And then the high actually swings back over us next week. And it won't be as strong next week as what we have right now, but still, this is going to keep hot temperatures going for many, many more days. We're thinking warmer than normal weather is likely for, I'd say, the next 2 weeks. Doesn't mean it's going to be this hot every day for the next 2 weeks, but warmer than normal. And when I say normal, well, the normal high is 70 for LA. So we are way above that by nearly 30 degrees tomorrow. Overall temperatures around our area. High desert, it's going to be 90s to near 100. Valleys, Inland Empire, you see some triple digits there. Let me bring you a little bit closer. Actually, you may have seen on the side of the screen, Palm Springs, we're calling for a 107 there. But look at the 98 to 101 kind of range across the valleys in the Inland Empire. And again, inland Orange County, mid 90s up through LA, maybe in the upper 90s along the coast. It'll be more so in the 80s. So that's tomorrow. I'll get out of the way. You can see the numbers here as we go to Friday. Not much change. It's almost identical, in fact. And then Saturday is when you're going to notice the heat starting to come down. Now, still, for March, this is very warm. It's just not the extreme levels like we have going on right now. And Sunday actually comes down a few degrees from these numbers you see here. So over the next 7 days, again, easily warmer than normal for a while. The normal is 70, so we're 90s the next couple of days. We're mid to upper 80s this weekend and through next week. That's for LA and Inland Orange County. At the coast, of course, it's going to be overall cooler, but 80s for the coast the next few days. We'll bring it down to 70s this weekend and hold it in the 70s through next week. In the valleys and the Inland Empire, as is often the case with these heat waves, it's hotter there. So around 100 or so for Thursday and Friday. Saturday is still a little over 90, upper 80s Sunday, and then just kind of holding in that range as we go through next week. And then here's the most unique location as far as the heat goes. So we've got temperatures, as you would expect in the low desert, very hot. However, if you look at all the weather records for the entire country for the month of March, the hottest that's ever been officially measured is 108. So it's possible that Palm Springs sets a U.S. March record if we get up to 108 at some point this week. Might even get above that. It's within the realm of possibility. So that's pretty amazing. Gives you some context as to how unprecedented this heat wave is. And by the way, it will drop down closer to about 100 degrees by Sunday and into next week. Over to you.
That'd be something. All right, Adam, thanks. California voters are largely disengaged ahead of the June gubernatorial primary. We'll take a closer look at a new poll. Plus,
and we're in the port of Long Beach tonight, where dozens of shipping containers are teetering off the side of a ship. We'll have an update right after this.
and football legends are hitting the field in Los Angeles this weekend for the Fanatics Flag Football Classic. Tom Brady is suiting up as captain and quarterback. So what's he saying about the big game? Well, we will hear from him next.
across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Only on Fox 11 tonight, a damaged cargo ship docked in the port of Long Beach with crushed and dangling containers after a rough trip across the Pacific. The Coast Guard now on watch as crews work to safely clear the load and prevent more from falling into the water. That is quite the sight. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf, he's live there tonight with the latest. Matthew, so there's actually crew members trying to prevent this from falling in right now?
Yeah, it seems like they have it tied up pretty good, but tonight all eyes are on those shipping containers. Mike will show you right now. You can see the ones on the bottom are absolutely crushed. On the top, they appear to be teetering over the edge. This is the second case like this in a matter of months. Tonight, containers crushed, twisted, and dangling off the side of a massive ship in the port of Long Beach. This, an exclusive look at the OOCL Sunflower as the U.S. Coast Guard patrols nearby and crews size up the damage after a violent voyage at sea.
The way you stack containers is kind of like Lego blocks. Once one goes, the others start to go, and you have almost like a Jenga set going overboard.
The ship, tracked from Taiwan to Southern California, hit powerful 20-foot waves near the Aleutian Islands, sending at least 32 containers into the ocean and leaving dozens more damaged.
Wind and waves like that can cause the vessel to yaw. It could cause waves to come over the bow. And unfortunately, what we see sometimes happen is containers can either collapse or the rigging that holds the containers in place could fail. And then due to the motion of the ship, you'll get a container collapse.
What's going on the stacks? This dramatic video from just 6 months ago. More than 70 containers toppled from the MV Mississippi and triggering a massive cleanup.
It's a little bit of a laborious chore to get all those containers off because you want to make sure you don't have a further spill.
A 100-yard safety zone now in place around the Sunflower as officials prepare for the possibility more containers could fall.
Because the containers have collapsed and collapsed onto each other, you could have a spill on board the vessel. The ship could be leaking. So right now, obviously, the big thing is going to be cleanup.
Mike is showing you live. It looks like the containers that are leaning are pretty well secured tonight, but it's unclear exactly what's inside them. According to sources, they're really going to start the main cleanup here as soon as tomorrow. Reporting live in the Port of Long Beach tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Do we have any idea what that looks like? I mean, how do you write the containers, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a meticulous process, and I know that it takes some time. They go container by container and make sure that it doesn't cause some sort of catastrophic issue where they all go crashing down like a puzzle, of course. But yeah, of course, they're going to have to really take their time with this one.
I mean, when he compared it to Jenga, I think we all got it, right? I mean, just one little move and the whole thing can go, everything can go awry really, really quickly. And I suspect no word from the ship itself, the people who run the ship.
No, we know that it's based out of China. We actually have seen the Chinese flag flying on it. Obviously, I believe they're probably still on the ship at this hour. But yeah, this is a long haul, long trip, and then to have to deal with this once they get here. I know that they've been off the port out in the ocean for the last week or so, just near off the coast of LA, trying to get everything ready before they came in here, making sure things were secured. So they feel like they're in a good spot now as this cleanup really begins tomorrow.
And lastly, Matthew, did they dock tonight?
They docked earlier today, as far as I know.
Okay, all right, very good. Incredible reporting out there. Quite the visual. Thank you very much, Matthew Seedorf. New at 9, the city of Whittier is paying $3.5 million to settle a disturbing sexual abuse case. 4 women allege they were abused by former Whittier police officer Charles Driley and other officers while participating in the department's Explorer Ride-Along program. The allegations date back to the late 1970s. The victims, who were teenagers at the time, claim officers used the program to isolate them. Their attorney is now calling for nationwide protections to prevent future abuse. Tonight, tensions are escalating in the Middle East. President Trump is now warning the U.S. would retaliate if Iran attacks Qatar again following Iranian missile strikes on Qatar's gas facilities. Meantime, Israel killed Iran's intelligence minister and targeted key energy sites, prompting Iranian missile strikes on Israel and Gulf nations. Oil prices have surged and the Strait of Hormuz remains a flashpoint. The conflict has caused widespread destruction, civilian casualties, and rising global energy concerns. Well, FIFA is denying Iran's request to change World Cup venues from Los Angeles to Mexico. This is despite the country's concern for player safety in the U.S. The request comes as the war with the U.S. and Israel continues without an end in sight. FIFA says that the matches will follow the schedule released in December of last year. Mexican officials are open to hosting, but FIFA and other teams doubt the feasibility. Iran is also set to play in Seattle and Tucson. Their first match is slated for June 15th against New Zealand. Well, another week, another poll in the race for California governor. This one shows two Republicans slightly leading the long list of Democrats, according to the UC Berkeley IGS poll. Republican small business owner, former Fox News host Steve Hilton, polling with 17%. That's followed by fellow Republican Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, sitting at 16%. On the Democratic side, Eric Swalwell and Katie Porter, they're neck and neck at 13% each, while Tom Steyer has jumped to 10%. All other candidates remain in single digits. The top two vote getters in the June primary will advance to the general election in November. New at 9, LA County's Democratic Party has endorsed Karen Bass for a second term as LA mayor. It's the latest show of the city's political establishment rallying around the embattled incumbent. Mayor Bass has faced a slew of criticism, from her mishandling of the Palisades and Altadena wildfires to the homeless crisis. Only on Fox 11, women brave the heat in Pasadena today for an empowering event featuring some of the most influential voices in the world. It's a yearly pilgrimage to celebrate Women's History Month. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez took us there.
We're in this really unique moment in time.
Moira Forbes, one of the leading women in publishing, among the speakers at the 2026 Femme Confab Retreat.
Putting women and their voices at the center of the conversation.
Women braving the heat at the Langham Huntington in Pasadena to hear from the person behind the Forbes yearly Most Powerful Women list.
And I think what's the most inspiring when you look at that list is the initial lists. The women were always the firsts. They were outliers. They weren't necessarily even CEO yet. Fast forward to today, and it's women who are heads of states, CEOs, entrepreneurs, and philanthropists.
Entertainers, tech people, and women who use their power to give back, like Fox's Next Level Chef winner.
Winning Next Level Chef really catapulted my career. It gave me a platform to be able to talk about the things that I'm most important about, which is my cultural heritage, being Native American and Mexican. This is a recipe that was actually being created by the original indigenous people of this country.
On our podcast, sharing a fry bread recipe or talking to women here.
I tell them how important it is to stay in alignment with what it is that you want to do.
Now, aside from sitting around in the conference setting, the women here actually get to try their hand at things like Tai Chi out in the garden.
Keep bouncing.
Other than keep bouncing, the advice we kept hearing from the speakers.
When there's opportunities that are important to you, when there's new projects, do not ask permission. Far too often, we want other people to tell us in that moment in time that it's our moment. But we have to remind ourselves it's our moment to take.
In Pasadena, I'm Christina Gonzalez, Fox 11 News.
And the retreat will continue tomorrow. If you want more information or you'd like to attend, we do have that information on our website. It's foxla.com. All right, well, there is some big name football happening this weekend right here in Los Angeles with the Fanatics Flag Football Classic out at BMO Stadium. It's happening this Saturday at 1, and you can watch it right here on Fox 11, of course, if you can't make it there. NFL great and Fox football analyst Tom Brady. He is one of the captains, and he will also be QB for his team. And we got a chance to speak with him about it.
24 athletes, professional. There's another group of The USA flag team has 12 participants, so there's 36 total players, 3 teams, a little round robin tournament, and we'll see who's ready to go because we're getting ready for LA 2028 and to see kind of where the pros stack up against the guys who've been playing this sport for a long time.
Well, as mentioned, if you can't make it out to the stadium, BMO Stadium that is, you can watch this competition right here on Fox 11 starting Saturday at 1 p.m. and then be sure to join us right after that on Fox 11, and by us, our Fox Sports crew. All right, time is running out to register for a chance to buy tickets to the 2028 Summer Olympics. The deadline is midnight tonight. If selected, locals in certain zip codes can purchase tickets starting April 2nd, while others can buy between April 9th and 19th. There's a 12-ticket limit per person, but group rates are available. You can head to la28.org to register now. New at 9, the Venetian Resort in Las Vegas is hosting a Pop-A-Shot challenge called Ballin' for Bites, running this Thursday through March 22nd, which is Sunday. Guests can test their basketball skills near the Yahoo Sportsbook for a chance to win dining vouchers worth up to $250. The event is part of the resort's March Madness viewing experience, with tickets starting at $199. Virgin River fans, the wait is over. Season 7 is dropped on Netflix. Up next, we're sitting down with Benjamin Hollingsworth, who plays Dan Brady, to get the inside scoop on all the drama. Plus, unseasonably high temperatures are putting California's citrus crops at risk. We'll tell you if this heat wave disrupts the June harvest.
And the extreme heat warning lasts through Friday, which means a couple of more days where it's going to feel just as hot as it's been lately. That also means it does cool a little bit in time for our weekend. I'll have that in my forecast coming up after the break.
But first, aloha from Waikiki Beach in Honolulu, Hawaii. This is a live look from our Earth Cam. It is 6:40 there and clocking in at 80 degrees. Doesn't that look nice? That does look nice. Oh, makes me want a Mai Tai. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock well beyond here and there too. All right, stay tuned.
Meeting someone?
No. Just looking for Jack. Can I buy you a drink? That'd be a no.
No, that'd be a yes. Please, Bree, say yes. Virgin River fans are rejoicing. Season 7 is now out on Netflix. And in the middle of the drama is Benjamin Hollingsworth character Dan Brady, who just goes by Brady on the show. Benjamin joins me now here in studio. It's weird to call you Benjamin because I'm used to yelling at you at the screen going, "Oh, Brady, no, yes,
Brady,
no."
yes. There needs to be a T-shirt that says "All Brady."
Exactly. That would sell out in no time. Congratulations on season 7.
Thank you.
How exciting. I want to talk about that, obviously, but refresh our memories and take us back to the end of season 6 because it ended with you getting duped big time and in the middle of a love triangle.
Yes, and absolutely. So, you know, my current girlfriend hears me professing my love to my love of my life, Bree, and then, of course, gets upset, steals all my money, and takes off. And so season 7 kind of picks up. Brady's trying to get his money back, and what he does with the money when he gets it back is really interesting and very unlike the old Brady, and maybe a new shade of the new Brady.
Okay.
Which is cool.
How do you describe the old Brady versus the new Brady?
Old Brady is your antagonist, bad boy, rebel.
Totally.
And he's still a bad boy and he's still a rebel because you don't ever really lose that.
Yeah.
But he's more reformed. He's making better life choices.
Yeah. How fun is it to play this part though? Because I feel like, I mean, exactly to what you just said, you get to play the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and it's a redemption arc. So those are so fun to play as an act. You get to, you know, really craft out your performance and take the audience on a journey. And because we all try and to be the better versions of ourselves, it's relatable for the audience, I think.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're seeing some scenes of some love scenes with you and Bree.
Yeah, there's a few of those.
There's a lot of those.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler alert in case. I have, full disclosure, I'm actually a huge fan of Virgin River, and when the EP Haley told me that we got you, I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I haven't been able to watch season 7 next. Ultimately, this one ends though in a cliffhanger because all 10 episodes are out. We're not going to do any spoilers here.
Yeah, no spoilers. I will tease but not spoil.
Okay. Good.
So there was a love triangle. That triangle becomes not so triangle, more straight line.
Okay.
So take from that as what you will. And a lot happens on a motorcycle this season.
Oh, okay.
Brady's famous for his leather jacket, his motorcycle, and things that you wouldn't normally see happen on a motorcycle happen on a motorcycle.
Okay.
And it's steamy.
It's steamy. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh no, I might have to binge this.
You're now going home and watching all 10 episodes. Yeah.
Probably. What I love about this is the success of this show. So you shoot in Canada, in British Columbia, right?
Yeah, just north of Vancouver.
Okay, and we already know that there's going to be a season 8. I know you can't talk much about that.
Yeah.
But the fact that this is now the longest running and most streamed show on Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that mean to you? And are you surprised by that? And what do you think the success is?
I still can't believe it. Like, it's kind of, even hearing you say it, it's still, because Netflix is so massive, and there's so many titles. We love making the show, and we're so thankful and grateful that it resonates with people and that people find comfort in it. It's kind of like this throwback to the days where we all knew each other and we all were part of this community. And I feel like since the pandemic hit in 2020, we've all become less so. And that's when the show really took off, is people yearn to celebrate the times where we're all part of something bigger than ourselves.
Absolutely. I want to also mention that you're a big-time family guy.
Yep.
You didn't get to bring him in tonight, but your wife from Agora Hills.
Yes.
So our local audience is going to know, oh my goodness.
Yes, she is a local. We met when I came down here 15, 20 years ago, and fell in love. And we have 3 kids now. Hemingway, Gatsby, whose birthday it was yesterday. Happy birthday, Gatsby.
Happy birthday, Gatsby.
And Juniper, my youngest. So I've got 3 that keep me very busy.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it all. I mean, we're talking off camera, and I have 1, and the fact that you do 3 and the career that you do is absolutely incredible.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Congratulations on all your success. All 10 episodes of Virgin River Season 7 is only on Netflix, and it is out now. I will be binging. In the meantime, I'm really happy to meet you in person, Benjamin.
Likewise. Thanks for being here.
Benjamin Hollingsworth here, everybody. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Well, he was just a delight to have in studio. Let's now switch things over and send it over to you, Adam Kruger.
Pretty good weather to binge some episodes of anything with the heat we've had lately. The heat is going to be pretty much identical Thursday and Friday to what we've seen lately. And lately has been pretty extreme by March standards. Average or normal is 70. 95 was the high today downtown. That's a record high. Yesterday was 98, by the way, so we actually cooled a little bit today. I think we might go back up 1 or 2 degrees in many spots again tomorrow. But really, I mean, this is the fact that it's this hot and for this long of a stretch. That's unprecedented in March. The hottest it's ever been in March locally is 99, by the way, for downtown LA. So dangerous heat through Friday, and that means inland 90s to around 100. It's still going to be warm this weekend in the 80s. That's still a big deal for March, but it's just that it's going to be cooler than what we've seen lately. Okay, temperatures overnight tonight, well, it will cool into the 60s for many spots. That's about 10 degrees or so warmer than normal for the low temperatures for this time of year. That's a closer look. So there is a little bit of relief overnight, but of course it heats up really quickly tomorrow. So the highs tomorrow, like I said, many spots will be just a pinch warmer than what we had today. Look at Palm Springs at 107. And something I mentioned earlier tonight is that the hottest official temperature ever measured in March anywhere in the U.S. is 108. So Palm Springs is close to that tomorrow. That's how crazy this heat wave is. As we take you in a little closer, you can see in the valleys, the Inland Empire, around 100 degrees. LA's way into the 90s. Inland Orange County is into the 90s. Near the coast, it's more so 80s. Now we go to Friday. It's pretty much identical. We'll switch it. Well, I thought we were going to switch to Saturday there. The point is Saturday is going to be a little bit cooler. You'll see more of those numbers in a moment. Here's why things are not changing through Friday. Very strong high pressure remains overhead. It does back down a little bit this weekend, allowing our temperatures to come down a little. But it's not like this thing totally goes away. It's back over us next week. Won't be as intense next week. But the point is, very warm temperatures for March will be with us for many more days. The 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, this is provided by NOAA's Climate Prediction Center, just gives you a good idea. All that red means warmer than normal. So that's guaranteed for us. Here's the 8 to 14 day outlook, which goes to April 1st, and we're still warmer than normal there, which means we will end March with every single day this month having been warmer than normal. That's pretty wild, but way above normal lately. So 97 tomorrow for LA, Inland Orange County, 96 Friday, then upper 80s Saturday, mid 80s Sunday, and kind of just holding in the upper part of the 80s through much of next week. Still very warm, just not to the level we've got going on right now. For the coast, again, a little bit better, a little cooler the next couple of days. Well, cooler than the rest of the area the next few days in the 80s. It does drop to the 70s for the coast this weekend. And your valleys, your Inland Empire spots will be very hot. Highs around 100 for the next 2 days, about 91 on Saturday, upper 80s Sunday, and kind of holding near 90 through much of next week. Marla?
All right, Adam, thank you. Well, the heat bringing unexpected dangers in Orange County. Rattlesnakes, they're on the move, and that's not all. Fox 11's Haley Winslow reports from Irvine.
The heat is on and it is stifling. OC, like the rest of the region, seeing summer temps in the last week of winter. Constant heat leading to more emergencies.
That first day, it's kind of a shock. Wow, it's hot out. And then as you get 2, 3, 4 days into it, kind of become a little bit accustomed to it. And we see people going out midday in the heat, not hydrated, and they get themselves in trouble.
As the heat sneaks up, so do the snakes. Orange County Fire Authority warns of more rattlesnakes out and about after a rattler recently killed a young man.
Oftentimes, we see those bites occur right near the edge of a trail. So if you're out walking, hiking, stay in the middle of the trail. Keep those AirPods out so you're not distracted and you can hear as well.
Parks and playgrounds can also be a problem for people and pets, especially on artificial turf, which can be 20 to 50 degrees hotter because the plastic fibers trap heat and have a hard time cooling, unlike natural grass.
A little concerning, but at the same time, I think it's nice.
Lots of liquids and snacks and shade.
More danger right under their paws. The pavement can quickly burn your pup's paws in seconds, and heat stroke in dogs happens fast. If heavy panting, pale gums, drooling, vomiting, or lethargic, experts say cool gently, wet belly, neck, and armpits, but no ice baths. And rub alcohol on paws to help heat evaporate faster. Irvine expected to be in the low 90s the next couple of days. Girls out here fighting the heat, playing soccer. But the good news is an ambulance just pulled up. If they have any heat-related calls, they will be ready to respond. Reporting in Irvine, I'm Haley Winslow, Fox 11 News.
All right, Haley, thank you. Well, the unseasonably high temps here in California are causing concerns for citrus growers. Bakersfield College professor Lindsay Ono says this could disrupt the bloom and affect the June drop of citrus.
Probably one of our bigger challenges right now is that we are coming off of our spring bloom for citrus. And so we'll start to see this challenge on the flowers that are presently in bloom right now. And their development is probably going to be a little bit more of a challenge than almonds would be.
Ono says early heat waves happen from time to time, and irrigation during the heat is key to preserving crops. A stunning new mural is turning heads in Altadena, celebrating the town's rich history and iconic landmarks. We will take you there. Before we head to break, here is a live look at Queenstown, New Zealand. This is from our Earth Cam. You're looking at Lake Wakatipu. I'm not sure if I said that right. The Remarkables mountain range. This area has been dubbed the adventure capital of the world, famous for extreme sports. Looks so serene. Wow. All right, stay with us. More to come. All right, step aside, Woody. There's a new sheriff in town. Disney's new CEO, Josh D'Amaro, officially takes over today, succeeding Bob Iger. D'Amaro says he wants to blend Disney's emotional storytelling with cutting-edge technology to create more personal, immersive experiences for fans. Meantime, Iger is now in an advisory role. Lollapalooza announcing its headliners for this summer's show in Chicago. Big names including Charlie XCX, Lorde, Tate McRae, The Smashing Pumpkins, and Olivia Dean. Fans can grab pre-sale tickets starting this Thursday, starting tomorrow. The festival runs from July 30th to August 2nd. Behold, Altadena's newest and largest mural, created to celebrate the town's history and cultural legacy. The new artwork highlights historic Altadena landmarks that shape the community. Altadena-based muralist Austin Scott painted the 700-square-foot piece titled From Rails to Trails, Echo Mountain. It was painted on the back of an Altadena resident's rebuilt home, which faces the Altadena Crest Trail. Well done. And that does it for us. LA Live News Tonight coming